I was and still am working as a postman here in northeast England. We just entered day one of lockdown and I was one of the unlucky few that were considered key workers and had to get on with work regardless. I was a bit miffed at the fact that 99% of the country got to stay home day drinking in their gardens while getting paid and eventually going on to ordering everything under the sun online shopping, making it the busiest time I've ever known in our industry. I decided with the rules being so fluid that I'd ditch my uniform and wear fancy dress to work to cheer myself up and also any of my customers who might spot me passing. I'd planned on just doing a silly Saturday or fun Friday dress up, but as things turned out, the local media caught wind of it, and before I knew what was happening, I was doing TV, radio, and newspaper interviews left, right, and centre. Many fancy dress companies had reached out and donated boxes of costumes to wear. It had become a bit of a daily game, with a Facebook page being set up where my customers and wider audiences would guess what I'd be wearing each day. One of these days, I'd opted to wear a wedding dress given to me by a local prom and bridal shop that just so happened to be owned by my lovely lady Nyla. The day was overcast and I'd figured I'd not need to put sun cream on. A bit risky being a ginger nut, but I also didn't want to get greasy marks on her pristine wedding dress either. Midway through the day, the sun came out, but it didn't feel too hot, so I figured I was all good. I was wrong. I felt a bit of a sting on my shoulders when I showered that evening, so I assumed I'd gotten a little sunburn, but nothing too bad because it didn't hurt that much. The next day was when it took a turn. I'd gone out wearing a polyester Baywatch costume, the male version.
Yeah.
As the day went on, I noticed a pain in my shoulder getting worse and worse with each mail sack I put over my head, and eventually, I started feeling liquid running down my back.
Ugh.
It was about 28 degrees, so I thought it was just sweat and that the bag straps were just aggravating my mild sunburn. When I got home, I knew it had turned bad when I had to peel the t-shirt off my body. The pain was excruciating, and that's when my missus nearly passed out. The liquid I'd felt was actually water from a burst blister that covered my entire right shoulder and back. I've enclosed the photos. Turns out polyester was the absolute worst option to wear that day, as it basically turned my body into a microwave and amplified the sunburn massively. Went through nearly a month of not being able to shower because the sting of the water hitting my skin was too much. Not being able to sleep and constantly having yellow water oozing from every pore. I've never worn a wedding dress to work since. Ironically, that day, I actually got attacked by a bulldog. It grabbed my mailbag and pulled me to the ground, then grabbed the train of the dress as I scrambled away over the wall. So I actually ruined the dress anyway. So the sun cream stains wouldn't have mattered in the end. Ah well, up the wires, you little beauties, John.